What is up, guys? It's the Sound Alchemist, back again if you've noticed, and I'm here with
Gersh1.
And today we're back to answer more of your questions in another enticing for the greater
WAAAGH. This is a video series where we answer the questions left by you, the viewer. If you have a question for us, comment down below. Make sure to put your question in front of your question because we get those questions first.
And if you guys were wondering where I was yesterday, you're gonna have to wait till the end of the video to find out the answer.
Right on.
But I'll give you a little bit of a flashback to high school. I'm like that one girl who's late to every class because she went to Starbucks and she just takes little sips so that she has her Starbucks throughout the whole day so everybody can see her.
So people know she goes to Starbucks.
Exactly.
Yes.
I forgot to wear my white headband, my ponytail, my North Face jacket, black leggings, and my UGG boots.
Yep.
But you can picture that.
That's basically how you showed up right now, but then you changed.
Exactly. Because I didn't want to be that, that guy.
That guy. So this question comes from?
I lost it.
Oh, no.
Where is it? Oh, there it is. This is one by Iraq9. If the Big E died, or if the Imperium fell, what would the surviving Space Marines do? That's a good question because the Space Marines, they're autonomous. So they don't really need the Imperium, the High Lords, the Emperor to tell them what to do. They've got chapter masters and captains that already have like a set schedule and a goal in mind. So if the Imperium did fall or if the Emperor died, they'd probably still be doing similar things to what they're doing now.
Yep.
Although they wouldn't need to give their gene seed samples to the Inquisition. They wouldn't need to report to the High Lords. Yep. They'll still go out and purge the heretic, kill the Xenos, that kind of thing.
Yeah, so short term, they would just continue to do what they do because there have been some chapters that for years and years and years they haven't even reported back to the Imperium, and they're thought to be what is it called? Just obliterated, I guess.
Yeah.
There's a specific Latin term for it. But it kind of reminds me of that real story of the Japanese guy who landed on an island and I think it was 20 years after the war was over, he finally came out and people were like, oh no, World War II ended a long time ago. And then he was still fulfilling his duties as a military person of Japan. And I think that's the same thing with Space Marines. Space Marines would come out of some war-torn sector, and then people would be like, oh yeah, the Imperium hasn't been a thing in a long, long time. Then it becomes like Star Wars with the Jedis coming out of... or with, what's his name? Ben Solo?
Mm.
But he kind of knew.
He knew. Because the Jedis are connected to everything, so they know. But in a way, you could say psychers should know. Because if the Emperor dies, the psychic backlash of that should be felt. That's
true, yeah. It all depends on how the Imperium falls. Because it could fall in terms of the Reign of Blood, which was when Goj Vandire conquered or unified the ecclesiarchy and the, well, actually, it's called the ecclesiarchy now because of him, but unified the Imperial Church and the High Lords of Terra. And he basically ruled as a king for a really long time. Yeah. And what did the Space Marines do during that time? Nothing.
Right. They just let it happen.
Yeah. So
even the freaking custodians, they were like, yeah, sure, whatever.
Yeah, we got our role. You do you. Another interesting part, though, long term, because the Adeptus Mechanicus wouldn't be there to support the gene seed tithes, because at the same time, giving them your gene seed, they check for purity, but they also check for or they also help the chapter maneuver its way through the degradation of the gene seed. Without that, I feel like gene seed would degrade quicker, especially primaris.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Unless they do away with the whole concept of degrading gene seed.
Because that's they kind of started that concept, but then they went away with it, where it's now Primaris can fall to the Red Thirst. They can become Wolfen, where at the beginning it says that Primaris cured all mutations.
Right. And it's nope, you guys are wrong. So, yeah. And then, good question. That's pretty much it, right?
Yeah. I think we covered a lot of bases.
Next question. What do you got?
This one is by Milo No Steppy. Please, Steppy. Why do the factions of the realm fight? Was peace and treaty ever an option? If not, couldn't the various factions ever ally or fight together to seal the Chaos Gods in the warp, thus halting their conflict for a little bit of time? It does happen. It's just that, one of the main phrases that you hear with Warhammer 40K is, in the grim darkness of the far future, there is only war. People don't want to read a sci-fi futuristic narrative where treaties are signed and there's peace. That's for the Tau.
That's for the Star Wars players. Because that's basically what Old Republic was, right?
A little bit, yeah. But they're coming out with new books, so that might change. But anyway, you do see that every now and then, like when the Eldar allied with the Imperium and they resurrected Guilliman. They fought against the forces of chaos and whatnot. So they do team up together, Necrons with the Blood Angels to fight against the Tyranids. But there hasn't been a galaxy-wide unification to fight against chaos. If that ever does happen, it might be towards the end times.
Yeah.
But I don't see that happening in the near future.
Right, yeah. And another reason, too, is that each faction has its own, fucked up way for fighting. Mm-hmm. The Imperium is just xenophobic. It doesn't like other aliens because that's the way that it was brought up, I guess.
Yeah.
Even though the Emperor didn't really care. He just... Yeah. But then... and then the Eldar are cocky. Mm-hmm. They actually don't want to do that.
Right. They are above everybody else.
Yeah, and then you have the other factions like the Necrons, the Orcs, where they just can't. They're savage. Well, the Necrons aren't savage, but there was no point for them to ally with anybody.
Except when they ally with the Blood Angels. But that was only for their own good.
Right. It was let's test the waters. Mm-hmm. It's a big brain thinking of let's let these guys fight each other, and then we can just scoop up afterwards.
Yeah.
Which they did.
I mean, they said they could have handled both of them, easily, but they wanted to see and test the might of the angels.
Yeah.
They had a freaking Catan on their side.
Yeah. Next question.
This one's by Simon Teese. Kind of similar to the main question, but focusing on the Emperor. What would happen to the Imperium if the Emperor finally physically dies? So the death of the Emperor, I don't think will be proclaimed throughout the Imperium. Nobody's going to be going around to each planet and saying, the Emperor's dead, this is what's going to happen. Right. They'll probably hide that and try to keep the status quo the same, because if the Emperor dies, there's going to be uprisings, and a new Emperor is going to try to take power and whatnot, kind of like Goj Vandire.
Yep.
But the High Lords want to keep their power, so they're probably not going to say anything.
Right. So, and then especially when you deal with civilized worlds that are not super advanced or super connected to the Grander Imperium, because you have to remember that there's there's feudal worlds, feral worlds, agri worlds, all that kind of stuff. Certain worlds for sure are going to collapse right away, especially agri worlds, because they need export to survive.
Right.
So those people will feel it. But if you have some hive city that's kind of self-sustaining, and then all they have to do is pay tithes. All it means for them is that they don't have to pay tithes. Mm-hmm. They can't travel anymore because of the Astronomicon, and I think I talked about that yesterday. But yeah, you're right. The imperial, or no, what are they called? Planetary governors have no reason to say the Emperor is dead.
Right.
To them, to the people down there, it's the same either way.
Mm-hmm. A lot of people don't even. Well, I guess they know, but they don't know that the Emperor is living/dead.
Right.
Because to them, he's just a legend, a holy figure.
Right. Yep. Instead of a physical body.
Right. And if he physically does die, the portal on Terra opens up and demons will beseech it.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure Terra will become a demon world.
That'd be cool.
Mm-hmm. I could see I forgot his name, Abaddon, taking the throne for himself. Mm-hmm. And that's how 40K ends.
Just him sitting on the Emperor's lap.
Mm-hmm.
Bony and all. This question comes from Ursa Swan. Which codex do you recommend for pure lore over factions?
Ooh, probably the 5th edition ones, in my opinion, because they're dirt cheap by now, and there's a lot of lore that, I just feel they had more lore than the codices do nowadays.
Better lore. It's more in-depth lore, especially the Orc one I really like, and I really like the Tyranid one.
Yeah, the Tyranid one is really good.
Yeah.
A lot of those units in there may not have made it throughout the different editions,
Right.
but at least the lore's still there for them. And of course, the newer units, like you're not going to see Primaris lore in like the 5th edition Space Marine book.
Yeah, but if you're a Space Marine player, like, just stick with what you got. Because usually your book is thicker anyways because it has more lore.
Yeah.
It's more expensive too, so you gotta. If you're a person that likes the tabletop just to play the tabletop, it kind of sucks for you to be a Space Marine player because you have to buy more things that have things that don't really matter to you.
Yeah, and surprisingly enough, only 17% of like 4,000 people who answered on the poll say they like 40K because of the tabletop.
Yeah, and that makes sense just because of our channel.
It's lore centric, so obviously. If you're watching this, you're here for the lore.
But if you were one of the what is it called, the tabletop tactics people, you probably only play the 40K,
right?
Or more interested in that, I guess. Yeah, because we've gotten some questions about what we think of certain army lists and stuff like that. That's not how we enjoy the hobby,
right? Because you could be super competitive and win every game, but it's like, are you really having fun? I mean, winning is fun, right?
Kind of, but like, so, because I've been on a winning streak with you guys, and there is that sense of like, maybe I should just let them win once in a while, because it's like, it's the list that's overpowered. It's not.
But it could also be the dice. Maybe you're just rolling super hot.
That's true, maybe. I am playing orcs.
Speed freaks.
Next question comes from Michael R. Felton. Would the Emperor of Mankind ever consider a mind meld with one of his primarchs to walk again amongst the Imperium and bring it back to its former glory? So kind of like ward into a primarch? I've never heard that story, and I don't even think... I mean, he could probably do it. There's probably some psychic ability that allows you to control a person.
Yeah.
And he is the supreme psyker for humanity, so like I'm pretty sure he could do it. But I think he already kind of does that with his living saints.
Yeah, definitely. Also, if he does do that, maybe that's taken too much like psychic power, and like it's gonna make his Astronomicon weaker, like his grip on it.
That's true. Yeah, we don't really know how much juice he's providing for the Astronomicon. It has to be a lot if he's like allowing himself to degenerate. Or degrade. What did we say in the beginning?
Degrade.
Yeah.
Degradation.
Yeah. The Emperor is becoming Nurgle.
Yeah.
That's funny. But yeah, if you could ward into or control the mind of somebody, mind meld, as he said, who would you do that to?
Whoever's in the same scene as Bridget B.
Yeah, I would agree.
Probably like Johnny Sins or something.
Probably. And then just stay as him for the entire day.
Wonder what he does.
For the entire week. Screw it.
But it's like you're actually controlling him. Like you're not just him. Like you're not just seeing through his eyes.
Yeah. Right, so you feel the sensations, right? I would hope so. Next question.
This one is by... we kind of did that one already. Reject X7. People say that following Nurgle makes you the happiest, but wouldn't Slanesh make you the happiest since they appeal to pleasure and desire, no matter what it is?
No. So the reason I say no is like, it is desire, but like lust.
Right.
And if you lust for something, like go to the casino, like those people are having fun, but at the same time there's an underlying like an urge that's like almost bordering anxiety. So I think that is why pure joy is Nurgle, which is entropy. You're not going to die. You're basically on a snow sled going down a hill that's never ending, which is fun, like if you think about it. Like, you're never going to stop.
Right. Well, with Slanesh, it's that climb. Like, you want more and more and more, and the hill's going on forever.
Exactly, yeah. So it's different. What you should do is you should take a hit of heroin and then compare that to going snowboarding. And then let us know what happens.
Yeah.
Zach C says, I think Gersh was hurt by a Jessica in the past. He has some hate behind calling her or calling that basic. No, Jessica is a basic name. How many Jessicas do you know?
Probably like 3 or 4.
Yeah. It's a very basic name. Which isn't wrong. Like, I think generationally, there are certain names.
Just like there's a lot of like I was gonna say John. Like John's like a basic name, but I don't know that many Johns.
Well, again, like maybe to our parents, if our parents grew up in the U.S., yes. But biblical names in general are very, or certain biblical names are very.
Yeah, because I know a whole bunch of Judases. Like Mary's pretty common.
I think a name that's going to go away is Donald. That's for sure. But then again, how many Donalds did you know to begin with?
That is true.
Yeah.
Most of them don't even go by Donald. They go by like Don or Donnie.
Yeah. But yeah. What's your name and how weird is it?
Yeah. If you guys, let's play a game. In the comments, comment the weirdest name you've ever heard somebody actually be called, like legit name.
Yeah, it's fun to like research your name because like my name or my real name is actually more common in Africa than it is anywhere else in the world, which is weird. And then, yeah, so it's just interesting.
Mm-hmm. Surprisingly, mine's biblical in nature.
That makes sense.
There's a lot of biblical names, so take a guess. A guess.
It's Bridget B.
Mm-hmm.
Next question.
This one is by, I think you won the name already. It's a Russian name that.
Yeah, squiggly lines.
Yeah, squiggly lines. Normal people. My New Year's resolution is to get in shape. Gersh. My New Year's resolution is to walk better.
Yeah. So if you want to walk better, you should practice singing. I don't know how you do that. Like, can you practice? Like, can you be like if you don't know how to sing, can you learn how to sing, or is that just a natural thing?
Well, I mean,
that happens?
you have singing lessons, right?
Yeah, but I thought it was like, oh, this person is good at singing. I know how to improve it. But like, if you can't sing for anything, can you learn how to sing?
I don't know. Like looking at all those like auditions for American Idol. I don't know.
Probably not.
Probably not.
So wait, what was his question?
Oh,
How does he improve his WAAAGH?
yeah.
Sing. Learn to sing.
Get that vibrato going.
Mm-hmm. Next question.
This one is by Nico Tugas. If either of you started collecting Astra Militarum, what sub-faction would you choose? Death Corps, Catachan, Talaran, etc.? I've always liked the Death Corps of Krieg. Looking at the models like for Forge World and Third Party, they look pretty badass. They're hella expensive though, but they look pretty cool.
In a dream scenario where, like, let's say you invested in GameStop stock a long time ago, and now like you're a billionaire. What army would you collect?
Ooh, and I could have any model from anywhere, anytime at all?
Yep.
Down here in the Deep Blue Sea?
In the Deep Blue Sea.
I would definitely want to go with just a complete, like, Imperium faction. Space Marines, Sisters of Battle, Custodes, Sisters of Silence, just so I can have, like, this massive force, and I could literally have, like, the Imperium in my hand.
When would you stop? Like, what point value would you stop? Like, my Space Marines got to 1,000.
I think I would do a 2K per army.
That's good. That's good. Because, like, you could still use it and still not get overwhelmed.
So, like, 2K Space Marines, 2K Catachans, 2K Sisters.
2K. What's 2K?
2,000.
I know, but, like, because didn't we used to say 2K for something? Like 2K Sports or something?
Oh, yeah. Like basketball.
There you go.
Yeah.
NBA 2K? Gotcha.
It was all about NFL Street.
Street. It's in the game. No, that's not how it was. I forget how it is.
EA Sports. It's in the game.
This question comes from The Rock.
La Piedra?
Yeah. Why should the method of transmission matter for an STD? Wouldn't Korn then have HIV/AIDS under his domain since it's blood-borne? You're right. Like, maybe you just crack the code to is an STD a Nurgle thing or a Slanesh thing, because the transmission of it. I mean, I guess it does matter though, right?
A little bit, yeah. Because, like, would you rather get, like, a shot or would you rather get, like, spit on?
Yeah. But I think you do have a point with the whole, like, the god of blood. Wouldn't all blood transmitted diseases then
be his?
Yeah. But then again, the disease is separate from the blood.
Right.
It's just the pathway.
Yeah, because Nurgle can infect blood. So would it be Nurgles or would it be the blood god?
It would be Nurgle then, right?
But it's still mostly blood. It's just infected.
Yeah, but the infection, the core of the corruption, because like you could be a human and be corrupted by any god.
That's true.
Are you corrupted? You are corrupted by that god then.
Mm-hmm.
So I still think it's Nurgle for the STDs, even though you do bring up a good point.
Mm-hmm.
And then next question.
This one's by Down Before. If you could change one plot point or aspect of the lore for each major faction, what would it be? Like, which piece of lore really annoys you that you wish was different? What really annoys me? I don't think it's an annoyance, but
Yeah.
I really want them to answer like what exactly a perpetual is.
For the Imperium?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Because like, how do you get it? What are like the ranges of like being a perpetual? What can you come back from? What can't you? That kind of stuff.
Yeah. I think as far as factions, the Tau Empire, I would say the thing that annoys me that's kind of like ambiguous is like whether they're actually using mind control or not. It would be cool if they just told us like yes or no. Because what's the point? Like you're portraying this grimdark future. Why not just tell us that there's mind control?
Yeah.
And then what was the other one? Or like the Imperium. The thing that I don't like about the Imperium, no, I actually like the Imperium. I wish they explained boundaries a little bit more, because I feel like sometimes like you can go to the Ultima Segmentum, which is huge, but the Imperium only controls portions of it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, and I don't really have any problem with all the other ones, or at least not that I can think of right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, one thing though, it's I wish they would have kept the Void Dragon whole instead of like cutting them up into shards.
That's true. Yeah, I agree.
Because that would have been, and not just that too, but like just give us lore on it. Like, come on, like
Yeah.
the freaking codex for the Necrons came out, and you have the Void Dragon playable, but there's no lore on him.
Yep. Especially when there's a story that the Emperor slayed the dragon.
Mm-hmm. Slayed it, used it as like a bargaining tool to keep the Omnissiah allied with the Imperium, and then you have like the secret dragon cults.
Yeah. This will be the last question by Invader Xenu. Hey guys, I heard the Sound Alchemist use the word way, or way. I work with mostly Spanish-speaking people from Mexico, and I repeat it like they do when speaking Spanish. But I've never understood the full meaning. Any help? So a way is a male bull.
Mm-hmm.
So when they say way, it's like you using the word
Like,
fuckers.
yeah.
Like, yeah. Or bitch. But like, bitch is not really the same because like,
No, it's like,
usually girls call each other like, yes, whatever. You would not call a male friend bitch. I mean, you could, but yeah.
I'm thinking like maybe like what up dog, kind of like that.
Yes, like that, but like a little bit more aggressive.
Yeah, like it's hard because like there's not like a direct translation, and like it's become so like normalized in like that kind of vernacular that you don't really take it that way. It's almost like saying what up dude, but like it's more aggressive.
Right. Yep. So yeah, it's part of that whole machismo culture that is permeated through the Mexican community. And those were the questions for today. If you guys have more questions for us, please comment down below. Thank you guys so much for listening. Talk to you tomorrow.
Yeah, and if you guys wanted to know where I was, Snowden. That's it.
Yeah.
Thanks for watching and waiting for this answer. This is the Sound Alchemist,
Gershwan.
and we are out.
Always used to put my freedom first in any situation.